Some people struggle with writtens. I never mess up a sentence. I'm being honest with y'all. It just comes out how I think it. I sound direct in the flow.
Here we have Ron Johnson on Poets Return. Hello, Ron.
Hello. Yes, Ron Johnson, a.k.a. R.J. Wayne, a.k.a. Philasifer. Those are 3 of the 6 names required for you to join the Wu-Tang Clan. So I'm working on my resume.
I was gonna say you're in pretty good shape. I'd say you're like halfway there.
I'm about halfway there.
So Ron was introduced to me by a friend of both of ours in the theater community, and he has been rapping since he was 11 years old.
Truth.
And which we're gonna get into it, but he's been signed to 3 different labels in his time. He's come a long way, and most recently has written, produced, acted in,
I directed it as well, yeah.
The Milkcrate Monologues, which just was performed this past weekend at Towne Street Theatre, which is an amazing theater company here in LA. It's been here for, I think, 26 years?
Yeah, right off Hollywood Boulevard. They spent 7 years, and they had their own theater. They got started during the riots, and then that blossomed into their own theater. But, after 7 years of doing it on their own, they moved in, so they did that partnership with Stella Adler.
Yes, and it's obviously proven successful as they had multiple amazing. I've seen shows there for years. I have a couple friends that are members there, and they always put out amazing shows and content.
They really pushed the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't even think my shit was gonna get done this quick.
Well, speaking of pushing the envelope, Milkcrate Monologues is. I again had the privilege to go and see it on the opening night on Friday. They had 3 shows all in all, right?
Right.
Okay,
We did like a real quick run just to see what the response would be.
Which the response has been overwhelmingly positive to a point where Ron is like, "Whoa, I don't know what to do with." But I think many artists struggle with knowing what to do with praise.
Well, yeah, because it's been so long. We're in the business of rejection. It's the one that we chose.
True.
Right? So we're used to, getting a foot up and then having to take 2 steps back and people being very cryptic with us
mm-hmm.
and not divulging their true feelings or whatever. So yeah, it was nice. This one is definitely firmly in the win column.
Completely.
And yeah, and it's nice to finally get one of those after doing this for 2 decades.
Geez, right? Talk about perseverance and sticking. This is guy that I got to meet with Ron yesterday, and we talked a lot about integrity of artists and work and the message and what words you're choosing to put out into the world for people to hear. What story are you trying to tell?
Right.
And especially with poetry and especially rap, it's very difficult in mainstream society to get certain messages put out there because it's either quote unquote not what people want to hear, or it's not what's going to be the most popular, digestible content for the masses.
Right, and that's a shame because all types of content and all kinds of views is definitely where hip hop came from. Like, I was born in the '80s and kind of raised midway through the '80s and '90s, so I grew up in a time where, Snoop Dogg would come on the radio, and then right after that was Tribe Called Quest, and nobody thought any different of that. They just sorted it into their lives as, okay, this hip hop is for this hip hop is for that. What I get now is that they try to encapsulate hip hop culture into one style of doing things. They take one little kernel of what it is and try to blow it up out of proportion, right? And so that's what gave birth to this whole thing.
Yes, and it's very powerful. It's very powerful. So the Milkcrate Monologues, it's 10 pieces
mm-hmm.
that Ron wrote.
I think it's everyday shit.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing is that I when I was sitting in the audience watching it, I was like, damn, this is such a relatable message in so many different ways, and yet it shakes people out of their normal comfort zone. You know what I mean? People are asked to question, why do I believe that? Or why do I feel that way? Why is this making me feel this way?
And it's definitely, I can't lie about that. Like, the piece is definitely made to challenge your perceptions about everything, including hip hop culture, right? But the subjects let's put it this way. Like, I didn't choose these subjects. These subjects came out of a desperate urgency and need to be heard because I did not think I would get the chance again.
Mm-hmm.
The Milkcrate Monologues, you know, for all intents and purposes, was my will and testament. I was very sick when I wrote it. I just got finished being in the ICU in the hospital. I did not think I was going to ever live to see it done or read at all. So it was a matter of getting these thoughts down in this medium that's been such a strong part of my life, to tell my stories, but to also share my thoughts and opinions so people could really get a clear understanding of who I was and why this culture was so important to me. Yeah. Right? And that's really where it comes from. I hope that's what translates in the audience, is that it's not just the topics, it's not just the chosen medium that we're using, which is rap, right? The urgency. Right. Like, you cannot ignore this, I have to say this kind of feel to it.
Which is also like with like the roots of hip hop too.
Right.
Taking that right back to the fact that this is so vital and important. I have to get this out, or it will literally consume me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where that comes from.
Well, Milkcrate Monologues, again, the 10 different pieces that speak on a variety. It's also just the people that you had cast. Just to give a shout out to the cast of Milkcrate Monologues. I think you guys did an amazing job. And like you said, you were originally going to potentially do perform more pieces.
Yeah.
You trusted this group of people so heavily.
Well, I was super surprised in general, because remember, I told you about this, I got blindsided to doing the show in general. I was a part of TST, Towne Street, and I was just working my way. I figured, okay, I'll hand it to them, and then like 6 months from now, you know, they'll come to me and be like, oh, maybe we can do this. But no, she got back to me and gave me the green light right off the bat. She was like, oh, we're doing this. You have 3 months to put this together, right? So, yeah, and as I said before, I've been an MC who's been doing content like this my whole career. And so, I mean, I look around and I'm like, mainstream hip-hop doesn't sound nothing like what I produce, right? So, naturally, I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens. So you put out the casting call and people respond and they say they can rap. A lot of people say they can rap, you know, but here's the thing. The surprise was everybody that came through could actually rap, you know, despite style, you know, they were all on a level that was like acceptable to begin this journey, at least in my opinion, right? Like, they weren't professional rappers. They don't have the skills that I would associate with like my favorite MCs, but they all had that pureness of the heart. Like, they rap because they like to do it, yeah, you know, or they love to do it. It's a part of them, right? And that's what you got to build on. Right. So yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised with all the people that came through. Made my job very difficult. But the callback when they actually got the material, I was able to narrow it down very quickly. And my cast, like I said, they're like a rap group now. Like, right. I'd listen to them. You know, they're dope. I like them.
Which is also why it's really cool the way that you guys set up the whole pre-show experience at the beginning, you know, where it is an open circle. The audience has the opportunity to join in and say something if they so feel inclined.
It's true. Yeah. And I've had that idea since I was in college. I started to toy around with like hip hop interactive theater when I was in college doing my theater degree. And that was the first thing I wanted to do because I think that's important. We did it. So I guess I should describe it because people have not seen the show. Right. So the pre-show, before the show even starts, we do a cypher. We do like a freestyle cypher in the front of the house, but we do it at the foot of the stage. So, and we leave the half circle open. Usually freestyle ciphers are cut off. You can't see who's in them, right? Because it's like circular and you got to peek over the top, right? So, but yeah, we opened it up in a half circle and we invited the audience to come rock with us, you know, and it was a positive, fun, interactive way of introducing ourselves and what they could come to expect from the rest of the piece, because the piece is very in your face in that way. Mm-hmm. It's not a passive theater experience at all. No. And we wanted to get you off balance right at the beginning, but in a good way, right? You know, and
well, it's like we said yesterday. It's not an in your face like a, you know, hand in your face. It's like a gesture to join.
Exactly. It's like everybody's invited. Yeah. It's for the people who I mean, hip hop is in everybody's life right now, whether they like it or not. But for the people who were really inquisitive and wanted to know what it was about, but didn't get the opportunity, maybe when they were younger, maybe you were one of those people peeking over the top of the Cypher and didn't get a chance to express yourself, right? So it was a good moment to let everybody see what it's about and everybody feel that energy that we all feel when we're just freestyling and having a good time, right? So that was what we were seeking to do.
Totally, and it's that idea of community, and like everybody, again, hip hop asks you to participate. It's not just you don't get to just be a bystander. You have to participate. You have to be a part of it.
Yeah,
it's asking you to be accountable.
Yeah, it's not a Webster's dictionary. It's Wikipedia.
I like that.
It's open. You can add your own shit.
You can add your own shit, and you should. You must add your own shit.
Right.
So. After, obviously, the Cypher and the Milkcrate Monologues begin, the way that the format is that there are these pieces that are performed sometimes by two actors, sometimes by a whole group of actors, and they tell very specific stories of different relationships that are made very clear to the audience at a very early point, which I also thought that with direction, writing, and the cast did a beautiful job of. The staging also, yeah.
Appreciate it.
So, with these 10 pieces, I would like, wherever you want to start, if you want to start chronologically from the actual beginning of the show.
Well, yeah. What I thought was so here's the difference between the show and the book. When I originally wrote the book, the book has a different order. We changed the order of the show to go with kind of the themes that go together, so it'll give the audience a different experience,
gotcha.
Right? This was originally made as a book of hip-hop monologues for theater that you could, take to a theater program and work on, audition with, this sort of thing. Since hip-hop theater is starting to become a thing. I don't think it's an actual theater style just yet. That's the kind of the premise of this book, is that we've had parts of hip-hop in theater, but we've never had hip-hop theater. We've never had a chance for you to just sit in the seat and for hip-hop to just take over. So yeah, I was thinking I would do them in the order that I wrote them, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Because the show is a little bit different in that regard. I try to take the themes and put them together, so we move through it in this way that people can process a little bit easier. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. Your audience changes when your medium shifts.
Exactly, and when I wrote them, it was just whatever came to mind. I was just going to get it out because I had to, right?
Right.
And that creates its own feel too, I think.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Well, and that just as a little side note, that's something we talk about a lot, like inspiration. You had to. Like, there are things that come over us, and it's like the muse of hip hop, the muse of the message that you had to get out, and it's bigger than us.
For sure. It's like, not that I'm trying to compare myself, but I would liken this process to how I read about Bruce Lee developing Jeet Kune Do, right? Bruce Lee, already a dope fighter, already had a mastery of something, but all he could think about was how inefficient it was. You know what I mean? And when I was in that hospital room, in the ICU, in between this living, dying thing, that's all I could think about, was just how much time I wasted writing other songs when I should have been fucking saying this. And that's what it became. This first piece is called "Don't Give Me That Weak Shit." If that doesn't tell you how the show goes, right? Wait. I said, hold up. Don't give me that weak shit. I said, don't give me that weak shit. Don't give me that weak shit. Give me that unique shit. Give me that intriguing, full of meaning, human being shit. Intelligence with relevance, some hardness and some elegance. To have me eating what you drop from mouth like we were pelicans. I said, don't give me that weak shit. Give me that supreme shit. Give me that wanna conquer my fears and live my dream shit. I want that John Lennon, Marvin Gaye, Sinatra, Billie Holiday, Michael Jackson presence that remains and never fades away. I don't want to hear about your bar drink of choice or sexual exploits or how you did a bit in the pen for trying to help your boys. That shit is old. That shit is cold. That shit is not funny or cute, and it damn sure ain't productive and doesn't further my goals. Your gun is not your voice. Your situation was probably not your choice. But your pain can be your power if you give thanks and rejoice. Instead, you exploit and complain. You avoid and rearrange like you can invoice people's lives and make them charge it to the game with no respect, accountability, feeling, or any shame. And you can bank on industry and the money to be the same. Meanwhile, your lame raps influence these young cats to take gaps in education while loading their next gat, because in their world, a book is useless unless it's hiding a strap, and a doctor or a lawyer is what they see if they get in charge the cap. Tell us about how to get free, or how to raise their seed, or how to stop running streets profiled by police, or how to turn the thug life into a positive at least. And you can start by telling truth and stop perpetuating greed. And that's what I mean when I say, don't give me that weak shit. Give me that pristine shit. Give me that in my culture I still want to believe shit. I want that Public Enemy, KRS, Common Sense, Most Def, Melly Mel, the message I can feel the sentence in my chest. MC Light, Queen Latifah, Lauryn Hill, Jean Grey, Tupac, Biggie, Big L with some Mac Dre. Talib Kweli, Del the Funky MC, Hieroglyphics, Living Legend, Slum Villain, Dub C, Ice Cube, Zayana, Bone Thugs with some Tribe, Black Moon, round that out with some Run DMC. Maybe some Jay-Z. Oh, y'all thought I was done. Soul Sonic Force, The Roots, Latif Who Speaks the Truth, Gift the Gab, AC Alone, and the Project Blow Crew, Busta Bust, Lyrics Born, Beastie Boys, Onyx, Wu-Tang Clan. I give a fuck about what's playing on the radio or what's in demand. Don't give me that weak shit. Because people are hurting. People are rich, people are poor, people are working, but they are still human beings and they're deserving. And hip-hop means intelligent movement. It's our tool. We have a duty not to turn the next generation into buffoons. And if we do, if what racist people say is true, if we took what was once an uplifting culture and medium and let it degrade our world's view, if we let the least intelligent of us speak for us and define rules, if we completely allow the companies to co-opt our style, dress, speech, dance, and in return give us inferior versions to sell and program kids on TV telling them what's cool, then I will gather the righteousness of 400 years of involuntary poverty and anguish as my proof. Over decades of equality and civil rights roots, over 30 years of mainstream stereotype and institutionalized racist abuse, and 40 years worth of 16-bar verses of inner truth. And I will raise my finger, point it, and blame you for giving me that weak shit. The point that I'm trying to make is that I don't understand why people say that stuff in mainstream music nowadays and think they're innovating. These concepts, all that stuff, that, I mean, party, drink, fuck, whatever, that's been a part of hip-hop since its inception. It's nothing new. It's not, you know, you're not...
Shakespeare was writing about that shit.
Well,
too,
yeah,
right?
well,
You know,
I mean,
part.
he was performing while people was doing it in the audience, right?
That was your
So,
pre-show routine.
Yeah, that's you can't get no rawer than that, right?
Take a bottle of wine and go backstage. Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I'm trying to say is that not that it's bad, not that you shouldn't rap that way. It's that we need to create content that's going to be left behind so people can understand this shit, not just so that they can feel a certain way. I think we're caught up as MCs right now in trying to elicit emotion. We're not checking for comprehension no more. And that's the era that I come from. Is heaven forbid if your flow wasn't tight. Okay? Heaven forbid if you couldn't connect these meanings. You get laughed off a stage. You get kicked out of a cipher. Okay?
There was a level of accountability that it's like,
yeah,
you had to actually have something to say and know how to say it.
Exactly. And it didn't matter the style, right? We listen to all styles, but good shit is just good shit. Right. Weak shit is just weak shit. Yeah. That's
pretty much at the end of the day, that's the formula.
Yeah. So. And also the message is that there's no such thing as a passive listener of hip hop. If you're listening, if you're a purveyor of the culture, you're a part of the culture. Therefore, it's your responsibility too.
Right. Yep.
As artists, we got to stop making that shit, and as consumers, we got to stop buying that shit.
Yes.
You know, that's what it is.
It's a responsibility.
Yeah.
We're going to go into the second piece now. Is this piece different order-wise?
This is Love or Something Like It.
Gotcha.
And that's the second one that I wrote. Okay. Baby, it's time we tell the truth. It took time for me to be man enough to look you in the face and tell you. It's been happening for a while. I know I feel, and so do you, that this whole thing has run its course. I have no choice, so what's the use? We're either fussing or we're fighting or fucking, but we ain't loving. And that's a shame because from you, I really wanted something more. We're either kissing or we're touching and tripping, but we ain't trusting. And we seem to only be concerned with who is keeping score. And it wasn't like that before. And I should have left you when I meant to. But I was so caught up in you that I could not discern my truth or even look into a mirror and see myself a point of view. At first it was sort of cool. I really felt like we were one until I realized self-opinions are not your idea of fun. You had a certain walk, a certain smile, a certain kiss, a certain style. And if I don't adhere to how you vibe, it's like you disregard my entire life. And that's hurtful because I liked you for who you were. Our passionate exchange is all a blur. All I remember is how you made my name a sort of slur. Our relationship covered in mist, not seen but feelings still persist. And honestly, if you told me to come to bed now, I probably would. My muscle memory senses your touch, and even now I feel the rush of what we once were misleading, but my ignorance was lush. It's funny how the moments of lust overtake, how the bonds of physicality so easily break with no foundation, understanding or empathy in its place. I'm at a dinner table sharing food with an empty space. But not today. I won't play fast and loose. It's easy to blame you, but I must also admit I'm known up to my part too. I fought you. Maybe I bought you. Maybe I wined and dined and stayed blind to what my thoughts do. Maybe I wanted it so bad I played some cards I never had and acted out a play in my brain that wouldn't make you mad. I guess you were what I was supposed to have, not what I wanted. And now I make excuses and you wonder where my heart went because I'm not the same man that held your hand and made you promises. And even though I'm letting go, I always swear, I always tried to honor them. But we're either fussing or we're fighting or fucking, but we ain't loving. And that's a shame because from you, I really wanted something more. We either kissing or we touching or tripping, but we ain't trusting. And we seem to only be concerned with who is keeping score. It wasn't like that before. Isn't it funny how we always fight after we make love? Because our bodies and minds trust each other to bring it up. To go back and forth on the things that we never said. I think that's when we show feeling and we're really honest enough. Or maybe that's just a buzz. I laid alone in my room while you go clubbing with your friends. I stared at the wall wondering how I could make amends. And it wasn't until I retraced my steps that I remember what I had left. So on our anniversary, I returned to where we first met, saw a woman's locked step, called her over, smiled, and offered to pick up a check. And without warning, I told her how I felt. We sat down and I explained to her I needed to start over. No book advice, no counseling, no roll of dice or cried shoulders. I'm not here to blame or call names or tell you what there is to gain. My only interest is that I atone for the pain that I gave. And then the magic we both gave up on reappeared. She put her hand in mine. Now we exist without time, and I can't call it a relationship, but it might be something like it, more deep, more inclusive, more useful, and more inviting. Now we ain't just fussing or fighting or fucking because we're loving, and we can't wait to see in each other's eyes what's in store. Because we're kissing and we telling, not tripping because we trusting, and we're really not concerned with who's actually keeping score. It's not like before. It's something more. So in my relationships and my friendships, I was always seeking to have that thing that I was missing, right? And that was the unit, the long-term thing.
Right.
So that's how I got into trouble with all my relationships because that's all I wanted. You know, I just wanted to prove that it could be done. Another AC Alone song that comes to mind. I can't remember the name right now, and that sucks. But I remember the rhyme. It's hold on is what they say, but I say open up your palm and let it fly away till the day that it returns and it was meant to be, right? And that's what this is.
Damn.
That's what this is. It's the relationship in this piece ends 3/4 into the piece, and it begins again.
Yep.
And that's the important part of it. So number 3 is Marching to Nowhere,
Okay.
which in the show is the second one. The one we just did was the 4th. Or no, it was the 5th. I'm sorry. In the show.
That's right, because it's at the end of the first act?
It's at the end of the first act, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then, yeah, this is from the perspective of 3 different characters. So. I'm a soldier. One of fortune and foreclosure, one of fame and exposure, one of the untamed evil vultures that'll swoop on your corpse if it'll make me seem bolder. I got the freshest kicks, the dopest whip, the illest gear, and the baddest chick, and I know everything it takes to keep this shit. Maybe one day, I'll be able to look into a mirror and say I'm rich enough to be rich, but until then, I'm lacing up my boots with my version of the truth, and I'm marching to nowhere, marching to nowhere. Destroying everything I touch just to get a little rush. Wish I did, but I don't care. Did, but I don't care. I know you seen me, homie. I know you want to be me, homie. I know you want to taste of that unchecked greed that seems to breed in my semen, homie. And you want to be like my kids, too. Pass the money to these tots. They'll be celebrities before they can even develop thoughts. And you'll be in the same place you were, scrounging for what we drop on the floor. I'm materialistic. You shouldn't be shocked. I got it coming out my ass and I'm wiping it with my stocks. Find my crooked cookbooks, I'm liable to have you shot. I get government subsidies from my friends and me to shop. Get $1 million cut from cartels from you smoking pot. And that's real for me. Happiness is just a dollar bill to me. I spend it with no consequence because morals don't appeal to me. Morals are for people who are broken and are equal to superior people like me who never had to work for shit. My father started up this shit. My mother never taught me shit. They gave me money. I watched what they did, and then I copied shit. Because of my family name, they still treat me all the same. I could just kill a scientist and supply myself with some brains. If I want it, I have it. If you got it, I'll get it. Leave you crying on 60 Minutes, and the world will know who did it. You're a pawn. You're a stepping stone. I'll keep you in the back and forth like metronomes. Your money's gone. I teach you to ball, but I work alone. I'm lacing up my boots with my version of the truth, and I'm marching to nowhere, marching to nowhere. Destroying everything I touch just to get a little rush. Wish I did, but I don't care. Did, but I don't care. I never had love. All I had was stick-ups and sell drugs. From the hood, told them I'll never forget where I came from. That was until the spotlight, the money, the fame, the honeys, the paparazzi, the people saying they love me. Fuck a community. What did that shit ever do for me? The only way I got out was imitating my TV. Can't go back because the second I show up, they'll kill me. Take my shit and perpetuate the cycle. No mother, no father, no rules but survival. So this Hollywood rich shit is just a holiday. Don't care what I gotta do. Don't care what I gotta say. Don't care what it means to you because I'm the one that's getting paid. Suck my dick if you don't feel me because that's how it's gonna stay. I'm lacing up my boots with my version of the truth and I'm marching to nowhere. Marching to nowhere, destroying everything I touch just to get a little rush. Wish I did, but I don't care. Did, but I don't care. I'm a working class Joe from a working class home. Stretch my dollars, start a business is my vision. My brother went to college and cheated the market, now he's in prison. My daughter's favorite rapper says it doesn't matter how I get it. But my parents told me values are the things that make us different. And I like my hometown. I like helping people. I think the hard work is always what makes us equal, but I can't help but think that my ideas aren't in sync with what is going on around me like I'm circling a sink. Because no matter how I soldier, I just can't move boulders that were placed in my way and my kids are just getting older. My hands start to shake, but I never tell the doctor because I'm saving my dough. I need to work to be a good father. And just once, I wish that I was rich and wish it all away, but these cats I see on TV all just seem a little fake. I wonder what their mothers and fathers would say. I'm on my knees to pray every night. I'm seeking grace, but these prayers won't keep the lights on. So each and every day, I'm lacing up my boots with my version of the truth, and I'm marching to nowhere, marching to nowhere. I'm losing all my dreams while these others get ahead. Wish they did, but they don't care. Did, but they don't care. So for me, this piece is a bit like that film Rashomon, right? Where there's this incident that happens and it gets told by multiple people in the way that they saw it, right? And that's what I'm trying to do here. But the themes of my work now, the thing that I'm most interested in is convergence. How all the things that we do are connected to each other. From the small ways to the huge ways, right? That's another thing about this piece, right? You have the first character who is clearly the person who perpetrates the exploitation of the other two characters, right? Directly. directly influencing their lives without caring that he's doing it. And as a result, he creates the exploited individual completely removed and isolated from his community because he sought what he thought was success, ended up getting the success, and is now stuck. And the further he goes in this vein, the more credibility he loses, because there's no way he can be connected to where he came from, which was the impetus for his art. Right? Yeah. So what we have now is, instead of the person who's doing the exploitation, the exploited becomes the exploiter. So because he exists now, he makes the other dude obsolete. Because now he gets all the money. He gets all the praise. People see him as a certain thing, and he becomes the standard. Right. So the other guy moves over, right? And the and the third party in this are the people who are directly affected by this, but have no say in it at all, right? Because of modern status symbols, because of the high cost of living, because of the exploiter and the exploited, right? Normal people are feeling this tightening, this stranglehold on their lives, on their dreams, on their prosperity, everything that they were told that they could work hard for and obtain, wrung out of them slowly like they're a towel. Because in capitalist society in the United States, the day of the fair one is over. Yep. Okay. You go into a bank and you try to get a loan. You worked your whole life, and they could still deny you just cause. Right. Just because they don't like your idea. Right. You know what I mean? It don't even, your financial history. That's what they hide behind, right? But if they don't like your idea, if they don't think it'll make them enough money, they just won't approve you anyway. Right. And that's what marching to nowhere is, right? We got these three quote unquote soldiers marching in three different directions that all lead to their doom eventually. Right?
Yeah. Well, it's like you take the different path, but you all end up walking off the cliff.
Exactly.
There's more. Tomorrow you will get to hear the rest of the Milkcrate Monologues from Philasifer himself. Not only because he's talented, but because I think we've all learned from this experience, if not from ones previously, a dialogue, an accountability. I think it's becoming pretty necessary to survival. So, join in. Do not fear the Cypher.
Some people work blue collar, some people cheat stock markets. I do the rhymes and the beats, for sale or for lease, promoting the peace. I go all out till the last round, never retreat. I build upon the efforts that I manage. Took a few L's, but your man is still standing. By the way, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. It's hard to be an innovator with your raps, trying to cater to these hip-hop lovers, so fickle like loose crossfaders. I gotta go to Costco to buy a bulk, cause in the studio I go through notebooks like they was toilet paper. I guess that means I'm the ish, you might have guessed it. Not being vain, it's just the obvious reference. Punchlines and metaphors are useless unless you use them to make your point and help the people get the message. It's funny when a cat has a verse that sounds clean and uses dope words but doesn't know what they mean. He's tearing up pages trying to figure out a chorus when he needs to call his friend's dictionary and thesaurus. Some people ask me how I write rap so fast. I learned how to spit them in my English class. Just because you chew on something don't always make you a biter. This lesson in semantics was brought to you by, what's his name again? Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Now I've been doing this about as long as eBay been taking bids, about as long as Google search and dropping all the links, about as long as record companies decided they would make some money off of you trying to sell that bull-ish. They call rap cause they frontin' in this industry. Let's be real, you rhyme for self, you never representing me. They acting like they all stars on the team, but they really water boys. Stop believing everything you see. If it's entertainment, how come it ain't fun? You say you ain't scared, how come you got guns? You say you got flow, come on and show me some. And write it better than your top 40 number ones. And bring that real flame, not a big lighter. Forget that club-ish, bring it to the Cypher. Test the real dragon punch from a street fighter. Not saying I'm the best, but I bet I rhyme tighter. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. They call me Philasifer. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you.